Sega.
My name is Holmes, and I'm the lead designer with the handheld group at BioWare in the Edmonton studio. As the lead designer, it's my job to work under the project director to come up with the vision and the scope of what any game project that we're going to work on is. It's then my job to create a GDD or a game design document to help all the departments figure out how they're going to tackle the job at hand and basically manage the progress on that. It's a super cool job, no question. I would have chosen maybe a jet pilot over game designer, but since I couldn't do that, I'll take game designer. Well, fast, blue, spiky, action games. Sonic's been around for a long time, so you think duration, you think of like a fixture, an icon. Sonic Heroes was definitely one of my favorites, and also a big influence on our game too, given that you're working with a team, and in Sonic Heroes you work with a team as well. We had Azuka-san come out to the Edmonton studio early in the development of the game, so we got the concept, we discussed the concept with him and got his feedback at the time, and after that it was actually pretty hands-off. We got occasional feedback from them occasionally. But by and large, they let us run with it, and they let us work and come up with our own idea and how to do things. And you know, we would check in with them about that and let them know what was going on. But they let us do our job, which was awesome. It was easy to work with them at the end of the day. It's not the first time that we've tackled working with another person's or another company's or another IP. So you know, when we did Star Wars or now Sonic, it was something that we had to really get into that IP and really understand what made it work and what made it popular and try to emulate those things as best we could. I mean, even though Sonic is traditionally known for being speedy and being an arcade action game, it was something that we really had to understand how we could convert those elements into an RPG to make it feel like a Sonic experience. Did a lot of research on the story as well, because we really wanted to have a story that plugged into previous Sonic games. One thing that was surprised to learn was just how much material is out there, how many Sonic stories and characters and backgrounds there are. I mean, there's the comics, the TV shows. There's been, you know, so many games that have come out, and there are actually a lot of interesting stories in there to comb through and come up with our own unique story that sort of ties back to some of that. It's my first handheld project that I worked on, not for BioWare, but years before that, was for the GBA, and that was very limiting. You know, you had very strict limitations on what you could do for art and memory size, things like that. But you know, with this generation of handheld consoles, it's actually, you have a lot of freedom, and they're just like small consoles really at this point. So they're fun to work with, and they're games that you play regularly too. So yeah, it's fun to work on stuff that you'll actually end up playing yourself. I have both. I wouldn't trade in either. You couldn't make me. I have for the PSP, my favorite game is Wipeout Pure, and for the DS, the Advance Wars is currently what I've been playing, other than Sonic Chronicles, of course. I like combat. I like the team power attacks, like combining characters to do really acrobatic and fun to watch power attacks. It was something that I sort of I would see from other, like, I kind of consider the Sonic team to be like superheroes, and I would think of comic books I would read where, like the X-Men, where superheroes would combine their moves together for an effect, like the X-Men would, Wolverine would get chucked by Colossus, and you know, seeing a team work together like that. And I really enjoy watching Sonic and Tails and Knuckles, you know, acrobatically doing their moves together. Well, same feature that I like, combat. It took a lot of time to. There's a lot of layers in the depth of the combat in terms of there's items and power moves and an elemental system. You've got chows in there that factor into it. You've got the running mini game is all part of combat. That took a long time to balance and make work properly. It's the busiest and most a complicated system in the game, but to make it fun and easily accessible, that was the hardest part. Well, yeah, that's the first problem we had to tackle. It's like, okay, first of all, the thing we had to put in mind is that this is going to be a BioWare game, an RPG game with Sonic in it, not a Sonic game with RPG elements in it. And that was the first thing we had to get sorted out. And once we had that in our mind, then it became a question of, okay, so we have an RPG game. What elements can we bring into this game that make it feel more like Sonic? So having him run around the world doing dash loops, having the characters flying, you know, the movement abilities was a system that immediately lent itself. Having combat remain very fast and action-oriented by having the real-time inputs like Elite Beat agents. That was a feature that kept players, you know, very busy, very engaged. So even though they're not moving, you know, scrolling through the world at lightning fast speeds, they're still moving through the world quickly. They're bouncing off of bounce pads, dash loops, and when they get into a fight, they're very busy. You know, they're constantly engaged. Your party is up to 4 characters, and there are 11 playable characters throughout the game. Some of them you won't find unless you go looking for them too. You only get some of them on the critical path, but others you got to go find. We've already shown Shade. She's a new character that is introduced in the game. We came up with that and got approval from the team about that. They seem to actually really like her, so it would be my wish that, or my hope that she appears elsewhere after this. I developed the story before I got a writer on the team and passed it through our own internal writers approval process, and then checked it off with Sega. And then eventually I got a writer on the team, and they took over and finished fleshing it out for me. I'm going to tell you the secret of the game, because there is a big secret in this game, and this the big reveal, and that is that the Dark Brotherhood are actually, and they are who's left